Hello and welcome to Higher Maths, Polynomials and Quadratics. Today we are looking at using synthetic division to solve equations. So this really builds on your synthetic division knowledge and being able to factorize a cubic, and essentially just adding in one more step at the very end of the question, and that is solving equal to 0. Okay, so just like at National 5, you can factorize a quadratic, and you do that in S3. And then in S4, we say, right, we're going to solve this quadratic. The only difference being we have bracket bracket equals 0, so we find out when each bracket equals 0. So let's have a go at this question. So find the solutions of f of x equals 0. So we have a plus 12 here, so we need to consider the factors of 12. So we could have positive or negative 1, positive or negative 2, etc. So remember, we're looking at all the factors of 12 here. So we don't need to consider numbers like 5 and 7, because that wouldn't work out. So I'm going to try 1 first, and after that I could try negative 1, or I could just try 2. So I'm going to try all the positive numbers first, because I am less likely to make a mistake, and you guys are less likely to make a mistake if you're working with positive numbers. So try it with 2. So again, you know how the synthetic division works by now, so bring the 2 down, multiply by the 2 at the front, put the 4 in here, add them together, multiply by 2, put negative 22 in here, add them together, multiply by 2, and f of 2 equals 0, so we have a remainder of 0, therefore x equals 2 is a root, and x minus 2 is a factor. Now, I didn't make too much of a point of this in previous videos, because I'd forgotten, if I'm being totally honest, but you must make this statement. You must make this statement to get a mark. If this statement is missing, you're dropping a mark. Okay, so you must make that statement. So we have f of 2 equals 0, so x minus 2 is a factor. And remember, the quotient part here gives 2x squared minus 11x minus 6. So we just need to factorize that. So remember, we are looking for a pair of numbers that multiply together to give minus 6. But also, when we do 2x multiplied by this term and x multiplied by this term, we need to get this minus 11x in the middle. So 2 multiplied by 6 is 12, which is quite close, and then we've got 1 multiplied by x. And then after that, so I've got a 12 and a 1, or 12x and 1x. I want minus 11x, so it'll be minus 12 plus 1. Okay, but you guys should have done a lot of essential skills practice on that, so hopefully you're quite strong in factorizing now. So normally, or in all the previous questions we've done, we'll just stop at this point. But we're not asked to factorize, we are asked to solve, okay? So solving is finding the value of x when this function is equal to 0. So that would occur when either the first, second, or third bracket equals 0. So x minus 2 equals 0, so x equals 2. 2x plus 1 equals 0. Subtract 1 from both sides, divide through by 2, x equals negative 1/2. Or x minus 6 equals 0, add 6 to both sides, x equals 6. And that is using synthetic division to solve equations. Now, I know if you guys have been working very hard, you'll be absolutely fine at factorizing a cubic by now. And solving it is just one extra step, so I won't ask you to do any questions from this exercise, as you will get a bit of practice at doing it in the next exercise, which is on finding intersections of curves. Okay, so you get plenty of practice at this skill in the next lesson, so there's no need to do any textbook questions on this.